right, welcome to the Dragon's Tome. I am your host this week, Chopper, joined by Jack Fike and Rob Harper.
Hello, everybody.
We're here to cover Drag Magazine number 162, the Halloween edition. Dun dun dun.
October
Spoopy.
1990.
1990. And we have ourselves a nice and lovely cover, as always. I don't know who, I didn't read the thing. Who
Michael
drew this.
Weaver.
Michael Weaver. My
This
question
was
to Michael
Oh, sir.
is, are you a big Ghost Rider fan, Michael?
Ghost Rider. I'm pretty sure this was one of the end plates for one of the Monsters Compendiums too. I remember this picture pretty clearly.
Really?
100%.
Ravenloft maybe, or one of the horror ones. I'm not sure. I remember seeing this picture. Anyways,
We'll have to look. Well, I don't doubt you, but I don't remember it.
it is a
But
classic.
it gives me very Ghost Rider vibes with the floating skull above the armor.
I like how it's there. There is no body. It's just the skull is floating.
Yeah.
With the horse as well. So, like, at first you're thinking, oh, spoopy skeletons. But then it's obviously a ghost because it's not operating under skeleton
No
physics.
skeleton rules. Yeah,
I will say that you could tell this was a very Rubenesque man compared to the size of his head to the
Yeah,
rest of his body.
the armor is he's got a wide
There's-
belly.
Lot of flesh missing in that armor.
Like it's so strange you chose to put him in a swamp too. What a strange picture,
Yeah.
but it's so cool.
And they made him a hobo too with his bindle. I don't know
It's not
why.
Bindle, it's his light.
Oh, it's a light.
That's the light to lure you.
He's a will-o-wisp.
Yes, if you there's a light in a swamp and you can hear your loved ones calling to you,
Definitely
perhaps
go
a
to
small
them.
child asking for help,
I will
Okay.
say
don't go.
that he is. This is well. It's very conundrumy as far as the functionality of the skeleton. Like the horse and the man don't have neck,
He's a
but
ghost.
the horse has. But no, but the horse has rib bones.
Well, you need
The man
ribs.
doesn't have arm bones, but he's got a hip bone.
His hip bone's
I-
connected to his rib bone.
The ribs of the horse are actually the barding
Yeah, maybe.
because it's got like a at the bottom of the one, it's got a metal loop
Yes.
that a rib would not, unless hey,
To
maybe
each their
it's
own.
I'm just saying, it's just a conundrum type of picture.
It's very
I
cool.
don't think that word exists.
Conundrum-y.
Come on, me.
It does now.
Well,
I love this picture. I would have
It's a
this
good
picture on my wall. Right next to
yeah.
my Civil War vampire.
oh, and I just noticed that it says RPG Network poster inside. I might have had this issue with this poster, and I don't remember if did it even have the poster skin in this thing.
No.
That's too bad.
I think it was that Dragon. RPG Network
Arr.
Dragon. If you know what the poster for this issue is, please comment.
Yeah,
below.
let us know because the RPG symbol was the big giant 20-sided dice. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the moves on here. So let's go with Jack, just in case all his articles get scooped like they did last week.
Last week was a bad situation article wise, but I think this one's got enough to we can spread out. We can all get to. So please, if we could go for my first article on page PDF 54.
54.
Oh, that's mine.
It's not mine.
54.
Scratching this one off my list.
The Dragon's Bestiary, and it is too hauntingly good, but definitely bad undead.
By Spike
and,
Jones.
By Spike Jones. Again, when he wasn't directing the movie Moon, he was
No, it was
he
him.
was writing for Dragon Magazine.
That's Duncan Jones. Different Jones.
Greg Jones is the one that did the.
He's David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones.
Yes. So the
Spike
first
Jonze is
one,
not.
the Spiritist anime, which is kind of a
Ghost,
like
Ghost.
a smoky
Ghost of a ghost.
apparition ghost that goes into people's bodies and they die and they become like a zombie or a skeleton, or they can just kind of ride around for a while and they're kind of imprisoned to a certain area because their real body is somewhere in the vicinity So you've got all these bodies scattered around. Some of them could be zombies and skeletons that are going to stand up. Some of them could be him hiding in them, and one of them could be the original body. And it's a encounter written for you to boggle the mind. So yeah, his cloud-like apparition just goes and he goes into people, and you have to find his real body, you kill him, or sometimes if you kill one of the bodies he's in, then you can kill him, and sometimes you can kill a zombie on one side of the where the area where the adventure is taking place, and it can kill him through various rules that I'm not going to go into. And then the second one is a even creepier thing called an Anku. And what it is a withered old farmer that just kind of walking on the road,
Greedy farmer.
looking like the priest from The Exorcist, carrying his scythe or a sword, and just looks like a normal old man, except for the fact that he is now a undead creature because in life he was greedy and he murdered his wife and children, and
As you do.
as you're wont to do when you're greedy, and some force has sent him back to Earth, and he just walks around and kills individuals on the road.
Collect
And
money from them.
So
he
I think
wasn't
it's
sent
what's that
alone.
movie with the guy in the truck? That's he's like a
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers. Thank you.
So he was it really? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, yeah. Good one, Jack.
I gotta. No, that was supposed to be an obnoxious one, and you're supposed to go no.
It was
Okay.
exactly what I was thinking of. That's a modern version of this guy.
And he is followed by whatever the force is that sent him to the material plane to kill travelers. Uh, he is followed by the creaking wagon wheel sounds of an invisible ox and an invisible cart. That when he kills someone on the road, he onto the death cart, the body goes, so there's no trace that he killed anyone, and those bodies go
Jeepers
back
Creepers
to
style.
a Jeepers Creeper style. So yeah, two undead things can't be wholly original, but Spike Jones, if you're talking about getting to the cusp of things that like are like a new style, a new flavor of undead creature,
Well,
these two are
obviously he
pretty.
predicted some movies with these things right here. So
Yeah.
he's Spike Jones. He has his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, who would have thought mole rats would have come from Spike Jones? But anyways, that is my article, and I would highly recommend getting the old photocopier out and putting these in your duo tang to surprise your players.
Nice. All right, Rob, what do you got for an
Oh,
article?
guess where Spike Jones is from? This Spike Jones. He's from Toronto.
Oh,
I was making sure it wasn't the same Spike Jones because that would ruin the joke if it was actually Spike Jones.
well, I think every time we reference him, we do another tangentially Spike or Jones. So to find out that he's from Toronto,
Toronto.
I guess that's the ultimate.
Kick in the butt.
Yeah.
We're going to page 8 for the editorial. It's not by an Ed. I think this one's by Roger E. Moore. Yes, it is. It's Gen Con 1990. It's a recap of Gen Con 1990, which is always fun. I love their Gen Con recaps because it captures the feel of Gen Con. Attendance record of 12,000 people. They get like that in an hour now at Gen Con. He said that lots of people were sick even before the con, which was very considerate of them to to be sick pre-con instead of post-con. So he obviously everybody got sick. He said there was a Shadowrun board there that was huge, I guess, and everybody loved it, and that was the big highlight, which is kind of fun. But these are all the games that debuted, which is some of them famous, some not so much. Hunter Planet, Nightlife, which is just like Torg is Rifts before Rifts. Nightlife is Vampire the Masquerade before Vampire the Masquerade. It's the exact same game. It never caught on like Vampire does eventually, very soon actually. Vampire. Torg is our other game we talked about. Something called Justifiers, Albedo, Critter Commandos, and Puppy Pounders. All games that have cute animals that go to war, which is always kind of funny. And he talks about lots of hijinks and spectacle. Like there was a Call of Cthulhu guys did like a whole like march through the whole place and did all this fun stuff. And I think that's a lot that's missing from today's Gen Con. They don't have the spectacle like they used to. They used to have like crazy things going on at all times, and each company would try to outdo each other. Now it's just like, okay, you got a booth. They don't have people marching down the halls carrying like effigies of monsters and things.
I mean, I guess you'd have, because we're talking 90,000 people now at this point. It's hard to. I don't know.
It's gotten too big for its britches. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, a little bit in the sense that it's so big now that you lose some of the personalization.
Yeah, it's a more corporate now, very corporate.
Yeah, the old Gen Con used to have.
You're paying for this footage, so do you have the stock and the bare bones, or do you have a giant display? Yeah. Do you have, what room do you have in that? I mean, for all of people?
Exactly. I mean, it's now
in costumes, and
it's not so much as impressing with the booth and anything more now because companies like Paizo has a whole room to themselves.
Yeah. And so does our Talasaurian.
A lot of guys. Our Talasaurian. I mean, it's really
the only big booth in the actual hall now is the eBay booth, which is 2 stories. That's the only one that's like, oh, that's crazy. That's 2 stories.
Asmodee's got the biggest layout, I think.
But they're just big. That's his floor plan. They have a lot of demo games. That's just, but the actual like impressiveness is, like I say, eBay has a 2-story booth, and they do like interviews and stuff at the top. But other than that, it's just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not like it used to be. It used to be like full on castles and
I mean, people still make the mazes look nice and stuff, but it's so, and I don't know if they were in Milwaukee here, so I don't know. I don't even know if Milwaukee's a union town.
Well, that's always the issue too. But
I always knew I was never getting invited to one, and I asked, "Hey, can you just take some pictures?" And I didn't even get that, so I have to live vicariously through your stories.
They take
Rob
and Chris
people
took a picture for you, and then they never sent it to you.
I never met anybody famous at Gen Con.
No, forgetting all of them.
That's where we met our longtime friend, longtime listener, Ed Greenwood.
I was too busy playing with a bunch of cash at that time. I don't remember.
With Crazy A, yeah, he gets an invite.
It's true. We like him.
You met that girl. What's that one gal that?
I've met a lot of people, Pat. I don't remember any of them.
He doesn't remember any of them,
especially girls.
She's on the YouTubes.
Amy Dallin.
Oh God! The thing is, you tell me her name and I don't remember. I just remember she does one of the gaming channels, and then she.
That is a wonderful story.
John Jack was fawning over her while Ronnie was trying to give her a demo.
Yeah, no. I've met lots of people. I met Steve Jackson, didn't know it. I've met the guy, Restoration Games guy, didn't know it. I met Steve
Jackson was the funniest one ever because we literally talked. The guy explained and verbally demoed the game to us without actually bringing it up to.
By the way, I'm Steve Jackson. I've met the head of Artelasaurian, Mike Pondsmith. I've met many people, but I don't remember half of them.
The Mike Pondsmith was funny because I didn't know it was him either.
Well, it's because that was before Cyberpunk 2077 hit, so they had literally a table. Like, they were so small at that point. Next year they had a room. Like, it was so big a difference between 1 year. But met lots of famous people. Don't remember any of them.
Well, if you would have
Jim Grubb.
known, and you could have applied the same social lubrication and razzle dazzle that you did to Ed Greenwood, Dr. Ed Greenwood, Esquire, maybe we would have more. Have guests, perhaps, but your indifference to the pillars of our community have cost the show dearly.
I guarantee I've talked to all the Chaosium people. I go to that booth all the time, and I guarantee I've talked to all the like big creators.
I know we've talked to Santa Peterson quite a bit too. So But that being said, let's go
Rob
to page 12.
slapped his chicken tenders out of his hand. Sandy's a girl's name. Yeah, that was shameful. Shameful.
Page 12.
He's not going to be on the show.
12. It's just a picture.
It's the Bazaar of the Bazaar. If you scroll down a little bit.
Well,
It's a weird
if we just
picture.
scroll up a little bit to one of the best pictures in a magazine I've seen in a long time, just as a look at that, a Mesoamerican
Oh, we're going up. Sorry.
hippopotamus raising the dead. Come on.
Oh, that is a cool picture. The other one that's on actually page 12. I'm like, what the hell is that?
It is it's the Book of Horrors.
I do like the
Cronus.
I do like the hippo god.
Yeah,
Voodoo
it is a good
hippo
one,
god.
too.
Yes, Bazaar of the
So,
Bazaar, a book of horrors.
Christian book
Book of horrors.
wrote this new book called the Cryptocronus, or the Book of Horrors. It's an evil
Horrors.
tome just for Rob. The
Whores.
All
first
whores.
page has a magic mouse spell that talks in a language long since gone, but if you cast translate language or magic mouth or whatever it is that translates the spell language, it turns out to be a spell that a magic mouth is casting on you that curses you and gives you leprosy.
Oh, so little leprosy doesn't hurt nobody.
Yeah. So, and the last page has a symbol of insanity on it. So, unless you have a magic shell around you, anti-magic shell around you, when you get to the last page, you go insane.
As happens when you
Yeah.
never
So this book
read a
is
magic
really
book. By the way,
horrible book as far as spell books are concerned. I mean, it really does things to just. It's really just an evil book in general. So you get 5 spells, which are just kind of a lot of necromancy spells like Control Dead, Vampire Mist, and things like that. But it does say in the description that it's a 16-page book, 1 spell per page. He gives you 5, and then he leaves 11 pages for you to kind of create and put your own spells to make this book your own. So, with the exception of the 5 spells and the 2 first page and last page, you can kind of make this book as horrible as you want it. So, I just thought that it was a cool way to customize a magic item to make it customizable for your campaign, as well as still bringing in something evil into it if you really wanted to.
I do like how this symbol of insanity. It doesn't just give you one insanity; it gives you every manner of madness. It's all insanities.
Yeah. So
You're so
Again,
sane, you're
for-
insane.
you're
For an
insane in
October-
the membrane.
Insane in the brain. For an October issue,
Issue.
a Necronomicon type book where he makes your characters go insane, add some spells to the, that doesn't need to be rewriting the. It doesn't. You don't have to
No.
reinvent the wheel, but
Now it allows you to,
it's the perfect flavor.
yeah, and I like that it leaves you. It literally says that there's 60 pages, gives you 5 spells, and then he goes, the other pages are up to you to fill them the way you want to fill them.
Yeah, it's good.
So
It's a fun little book.
yeah, for a Christian Bach. Okay,
book.
Jack, what is your second article? What is your third article?
It's the second article. You haven't even done
Jack,
one
what
yet.
is your fourth article?
What's your first
Page
article?
7.
Page 7. Letters. We've got letters.
We've got letters. Plastic.
Oh, I read this one too.
Exclamation point.
Question mark.
Question mark. Exclamation point. Question mark. This has got to be important. So Harry Morin from Plano, Texas. Plano?
Plano, I think, isn't it?
Plano?
I said Plano.
I wonder, is
Plano,
that what the Plano boxes
potato.
that hold ammunition? I wonder if that's where they're made. But anyways, I digress. Dear Dragon, I received the latest copy of Dragon magazine today, and I was shocked. It was wrapped in plastic. I'm not sure where you got this environmentally destroying idea. You poor summer child.
You think that's bad?
Yeah, we are
Wait
in a
till you're pulling
sea.
straws out of tortoises' noses.
Exactly. We've got microplastics in our balls, people. Like it's
You think a plastic wrap on a magazine's bad? We
the
plastic
giant
wrap everything.
corporations turned plastic into the thing that everything has to be in, and
This
told
is
us all,
1990, so every time he goes to McDonald's, he's got himself a piece of plastic in his mouth.
oh, he's probably getting that, open up that styrofoam container. The ozone layer's got a hole in it the size of a
This is Texas, so it's Whataburger, I should say, not McDonald's.
oh, a Whataburger.
What a burger!
Um, yeah. So, anyways, he goes on to say, please, uh, but I'm totally against it. Please return to the brown wrapping that I'm used to seeing. And I don't remember ever having seen the brown wrapper.
It was always
I don't
plastic
think
for
I
He
me.
used
had
to come in a brown wrapper when I got my subscriptions early in the beginning.
clearly it must have because he has said as much. But I haven't started my subscription yet. But I never thought that would be wrapped in
I will say,
like
I didn't
like a
have this reaction when mine came in plastic. It's like, oh, you can see the cover now.
And you can get
and
all the
it,
blow-ins that they gave you in the
it
subscriptions.
seems like a reasonable thing. Again, from someone
And it's
now,
not sopping wet when it rains.
yeah,
Well, that's what he
we're at a
mentions. I
time
think.
now where everything's full of plastic, so there's a millions of tons of it just floating around in the oceans. So, anyways, then it says, then at least tell me you're using recycled plastic, or make an effort to start using recycled plastic. And I don't think even to this day you can
Not
make
clear like that.
that
Yeah.
a clear plastic out of recycled plastic. So sorry, Harry, you've been failed for now 40 years. And I hope lots of other concerned readers have asked you to do the same thing.
Well, I
Um,
mean, I'm just happy that he's not alive to see straws
yes,
coming out his nose at this point. So
yeah, 100%.
Is Harry more
You
than a
know,
he'd
tortoise?
be really up in arms if he saw the world,
Yeah.
the state of plastics today.
Yeah, if you could see the what is it, dead part of the sea, where all the plastics just float in the ocean,
Yeah, the trash
yeah,
island.
he'd be
no,
the single
unfortunately,
tier.
yeah. Taken from us too soon, Harry, but Harry Morin, but you passed before the worst. And that's just the worst so far, boy. Um, so
It's not the worst. It's the worst so far.
the worst so far. Um, so the response is the plastic protects the magazine better. They were losing magazines in the mail because clearly paper is
Like Pat
would
said, it gets
tear,
wet and
would
yeah.
get wet, get matte, get like there's all these things that the plastic solves. And then he said the plastic wrap itself is not recycled plastic, but you might be able to find a local recycling center that will accept that type of plastic. Um,
Stop lying to him, Mr. Moore.
again, we were all being lied to. Big corporations were telling us, hey, you just put it in the recycling bin. Like, yeah, glass is the past. Plastic, we got this. And then after a while, you look around and all these clamshells of plastic, that unnecessary plastic, and you go, what's happening to all this stuff? And they're like, nothing. Meanwhile, they've sent it to Sri Lanka to get burned in a field someplace. um, so
I'm glad you're bringing this one up. Keep that jokes coming.
Check your yellow pages under recycling centers.
Yellow pages. Oh my god.
Yeah, so open up that phone book and find a recycling center near you. Now, I remembered the environmental, the push for being environmentally conscious and the reuse, reduce, recycle was even like predates this by quite a while. Like I know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was right around this time when they start to go a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? They go full ham on recycling, and we moved away from plastic bottles. Well, no, we went to plastic. We're getting rid of styrofoam is what we're doing now. Like
Yes,
McDonald's moved to cardboard boxes.
DFCs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hairspray, your Aquanet doesn't have propellants. But yes, at the time I can fully understand this the complaint, but I can also understand why the plastic wrap
Yeah.
far better.
They got rid of the McDLT because the cold side, cold box was too much,
causing the ozone layer to die.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
all those
McBLT
Australians.
gave everybody skin cancer. God damn you, McBLT.
I never liked the McBLT.
I never liked you either.
Oh God! All right.
What he didn't know, Rob, was your nickname was the BLT. Yeah.
That was my nickname in high school, McBLT.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, Mr. McBLT, what is your next article?
I'm amazed Jack didn't do the du faux pas one right below it, but maybe he's saving that for another time.
No. I fully understand. It's not my article. And Rob, are you going to do it?
No.
They accidentally printed the Union Jack, not upside down, but had reversed it,
Mirrored it, yeah.
And someone had commented that was in.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I would know what reverse Union Jack looks like.
Well, it's very important to the English. And they also, he said it's the 50th anniversary of World War II, but it was actually World War II started in 39, not 41 Americans. So.
Well, it started in 41 for us.
Yeah, that's not the 50th anniversary of it. It started in 39.
No.
So
if the party's my Halloween party and I show up at 6 hours after it already started, I don't say let's get this party started. I go, sorry, I'm late. And you kind of sneak in. You don't go right to the dip. Put your hand in there. And,
America.
Let's just say, but let's also point out that we weren't invited to your Halloween party. We were just forced in.
No, you were invited to the Halloween party, but you were just selling us all the snacks at high prices, so that we're still in debt. Anyways,
you for the keg. And you don't know what happened.
And you sold it to us at exorbitant prices. Let's go to page 81. It's the Game Lizards. This I don't know why it's a Game Wizards, because it's not really a Game Wizards article. It's not really, usually Games Wizards is all about the background of a game they're talking about. This is just tips to how to play, how to scare players in Ravenloft. Similar to what last week we had tips like this about being vague and stuff for DMs. This one is a very similar article, but it's by Bruce Nesmith.
It's more tailored to Ravenloft.
It's more tailored to like horror games, not even Ravenloft, because it barely mentions Ravenloft in the actual article. But pretty much it's never say the monsters' names, use colorful descriptions, similar to last time. And always compare the monsters to the PCs to add personal touch. So like it towers over you or things like that, which I thought was good. Exaggerate the danger. I always say it's like, oh, there's 24 things, even if there's only like a dozen, just because to scare people. Build suspense, be unexpected, do secret rolls so they don't know if they succeed their saving throws or not, which I think that's always funny. And describe the events instead of rolling them. Very similar to that last week's article. And I just wanted to point it out that it's not a Game Wizards article, but it was still pretty good information. Little GM's tips for adding horror to a horror game to scare the PCs, not their characters, because you can always just say your characters are scared, or to actually scare the PCs. So it's I don't even think you need it for horror games. Just to add, a lot of this is useful for regular games to add suspense or add. You want characters to be engaged, and this adds engagement, I believe.
If the fear of losing the character is the only fear you have, because you know you're just playing a game, and just because you can't, that's still a fear. And if making you roll a die, hey, can I just need everyone just roll, and then you never mention it again.
Classic
That's
move.
enough to kind of get the hook started.
Like,
Yep. That's a good one.
I think that personally, you just add Sturges to everything, and you'll be scarred for life. So,
yeah, bike week. That is scary.
Well, Let's go to page 23 then.
This was one of mine also.
This will be my last article since Jack scooped me. Hammer and Stake, Vampires and Call of Cthulhu.
This was my last article too.
Yeah, well, Call of Cthulhu kind of briefly talks about vampires. This guy, Kevin Ross, RIP, kind of expands a little bit more on using vampires in Call of Cthulhu. He talks about, the general way of becoming a vampire, the bite, and all that stuff. But he also discusses how you could have two types of vampires: a lesser vampire, which is kind of a newer vampire. They need to feed more. They're easier to kill. Like lesser vampire can be killed by staking. And then you have the greater vampires, which are the older ones that have been around longer. If you have to feed less in a week, and staking them does not kill them. It just impales them and immobilizes them in place.
Dracula style-y.
Yeah, you have to stake them, and then you have to either burn them or cut their head off or
Shove some garlic in their mouth.
Or put them
put their head at their feet. Throw chains around.
I do like he says that when we talk about immersing a vampire in water, we're not talking about just throwing a bucket of water at them. You have to literally put the whole body underneath the water of running water.
Yeah, it's not the water that does it. It's them being stuck under the running water that does it.
Yeah.
You can't cross running water.
Yeah, and then he talks a little bit how you can roll some into the campaign by having one of your players kind of be a victim of a vampire, and then you have to kind of stop that transformation. But all in all, it was a nice little article. Gives you a little more vampire-esque kind of Bram Stoker Dracula to put into Cthulhu if you want to.
My question is, do you need to?
I was just going to say, for me, this is a hat on a hat.
Yeah. If you want to play vampire ones, you play other games. Like play Chill, you play... Yeah. There's so many other games. Don't play Call of Cthulhu.
Other non-horror games, fantasy games, there's rooms for vampires, a type of vampire. I think Cthulhu is to the gills with gribblies that you wouldn't need to.
A vampire would be almost like, it's only a vampire?
Vampires are pretty rough in Call of Cthulhu, though, if you look at the book themselves, so...
Yeah, but vampires should be rough everywhere. My point is, theme-wise, you're fighting Cthulhu or you're fighting a vampire.
Yeah. At this point, you know who Cthulhu is, though. But you know what a vampire is.
But there is a game that comes out not soon after this called Night's Black Agents, which is based on Call of Cthulhu, which is you're a burned spy fighting vampires. You find out there's a vampire conspiracy in the world, and you get burned as a spy, and you have to go fight the vampires. So this becomes an actual offshoot of Call of Cthulhu pretty soon after this. So it's not by Kevin A. Ross. I believe it's by Kenneth Haidt. So
okay, well then, Jack, do you have another article by chance?
No, sir. We did both of mine.
Rob, do you have another article by chance?
No, I think we did both of mine too. Yeah.
All right, and we did both of mine too. So, wow, look at that, Jack! You rubbed off on us.
This is how we should be doing it, Jack. Why don't you run it like this?
Why is your show always so long? Why you let those?
We still got ads. We still got ads, guys.
Yeah, I know they looked down, and each one has 5 more, but the two of them looked at each other. The glint in their eyes said, "This is time for getting one over on old Jackson." That's what's happening right here.
Well,
two rule followers here. They only have 2.
To extend an olive branch to you, then, Jack, how would you give us your one article or your one ad?
My one ad. If we could go to page 110, please.
Oh, that's one of my ads.
Bladestorm.
Bladestorm.
What we have here is a
failure to communicate.
Vaguely Asian font made of metal and sci-fi, surrounded with a metal fantasy spiky border, all in classic. That's 90s with the metal reflecting.
That's
lightning in the background.
That's 100% someone's album cover.
That is 100% someone.
The name of the band is Bladestorm, and the album is The Tempest of Sword, Sorcery,
and
Battle.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. We were coming out of the Skid Row concert, and this guy put it's a Bladestorm. I don't know. So a tempest of swords, sorcery, and battle,
Beatle.
and it is, the ad good enough right here. I think some's missing in the because of the
Waist.
scan or whatever. You can kind of see in the background. There's something that we probably can't see, but I'm saying good enough. I'm intrigued. We scroll down to the bottom. Ice and Grenadier present a fantasy miniature game in dark, chaotic world, and I'm like, this is when Grenadier was like at their height.
I didn't know Grenadier made a miniature game with ice.
They are on fire, and ice is a perennial like
Ooh,
ice.
fire and
you
ice.
see the-
Yeah. But if
See,
you go to
they're
the
on
next
fire.
page, you actually see the line for it.
Is this the actual game things for the game?
I think it's the miniature line for it.
I thought this was just introducing Mark Copplestone as their new sculptor. I didn't.
I didn't associated this with the actual game. Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't either. So it could be, maybe not.
Because
Yeah,
doing some digging around, Ice is the one who created the rules, but Grenadier provided the models.
Ice is we know Ice from all their other games that they did. Don't they,
They
do all the?
RuneQuest, right? No, that's Chaosium.
That's Chaosium. They do all those ones that are like Law. Don't they do all the Law ones?
They do Chill.
No, Chill is Mayfair.
No.
Decades.
Ice was. I think they're always something Law like them.
Oh, they do Lord of the Rings.
Law. Do they do Lord of the Rings?
They did Lord of the Rings too. Yeah.
This sounds like a ripoff of Warhammer, so rippy hoffy of Warhammer that it hurts. Like really, a fantasy miniature game in a dark, chaotic world. That sounds
or
like
Battle
Warhammer.
Systems, even the TSR version.
But Battle Systems is fantasy, like that's fine. But in the dark fantasy world, that's Warhammer. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
those are some bold claims based on a vaguely dark background.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because if you're looking at the miniature
they described
you think Grenadier is making a dark fantasy? They're just call it dark fantasy, and they just threw it.
I think they're like, we're looking at what Citadel's doing over there. Let's try to get our own thing going.
I think they just put it. I think maybe the setting that Ice created might be.
Let's just say there's probably orcs running around on red vehicles and.
It's a cynical take, young Robert. It's a
I'm
cynical take.
I would think more since Ice has the Lord of the Rings, it'd kind of be more the dark, chaotic part of that.
That's what they should be. That's what they should be doing. But that's not what they're doing because otherwise they would use Lord of the Rings. Blade Storm. Come on. It obviously didn't do anything because we don't see it ever again. So.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't even remember it.
You never know.
It's no Torg. That's all I'm saying.
It's no Torg.
It might be. It might be.
All right, Rob, what do you got for an ad?
I will just like to say my first ad isn't really an ad, but it's just the fact that there is 6 different Palladium ads in this magazine. I'm sure if I just scroll slightly, I'll find one because there are so many stupid Palladium ads in this magazine. It was crazy. I was like, really, Palladium? How much money do you have?
Yeah.
Like, there's one. There's one on page 90. It's the first one I scrolled up to. But 6, I counted them, 6 ads, full page ads in this magazine, Palladium. Where's this money come from? Is Riffs doing that well already? Or is it just...
it's Robotech money.
Yeah, Robotech money? I don't know. They're paying a lot out in the, I would assume, out in the license. It's weird.
But even you and I, we've played Beyond Supernatural. We've played...
we've played quite a few. Yeah.
We played a lot of different types of Riff stuff. We know someone who was buying the books.
Right at the bottom here it says nearly 8,000 copies sold in the first week of Riffs, which at the time that'd be a big hit. So
yeah, I never played Riffs either. So
Riffs is it's a juggernaut, and they got a lot of money, Palladium, to spill all over the place here. They spilt their seed everywhere. So I'll count that as my first ad. So there you go, right. Palladium. You're all over the place here.
We're all over the place. So for my ad, then let's go to page 41.
I'm amazed you didn't choose this ad. Yeah, I thought. No, the one I'm going to choose next, I'm amazed you didn't choose it. That's all I'm saying.
I might have. I still got one more.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Grimoire for Shadowrun. This is the first edition Grimoire.
Magic spells for
magic
the Shadowrun.
Spells and additions to magic, which was horrible in the first edition. I'm not gonna lie about that. Magic.
I would say everything in first edition Shadowrun was pretty horrible.
Yeah,
it was not a very good game until second edition.
It was, yeah. Well, the hit table and the location. They got rid of that in second edition. The first one took forever. I will say that
So Jack, when you have to, Jack would always have to roll to see where he got hit, and it would be like a million different rolls.
when I was
thought you were
friends
gonna
with
say,
Joe
and Jack,
Lucas.
did you notice the ampersand that had the kerning, the space missing? But we're
Where's
not
that?
going to go there.
Where's that
We're
one?
not going to go there.
Oh, right there.
Picture,
Totems
and
and toxic shamans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw this picture. I went, oh, our buddy Charlie had this. I remember, and then I started reading it.
Ampersand.
Just one. Just look. Have someone just proofread just a little bit.
Hit the space. Hit the space.
Hit the space.
So, when I was friends with Joe Lucas, who was the president of FASA at that point,
Ooh,
and
name dropper.
we were talking about how shitty the magic system was. The person who wrote Shadowrun, she was letting me in on a little kind of company secret. It was that the guy who wrote, and I forget his name now, but I have to go back to the first edition. But when he wrote the magic system, it literally he was the kind of guy that believed in magic, and that's how we believed magic worked in the real world, like right now.
Yeah, but that worked for RuneScape because that's what what's his name who wrote RuneScape did too. But he actually wrote a good magic system, not a shitty one.
So, but that's the grimoire. It still added more to it, but then it didn't really clean it up. It didn't get cleaned up till second edition. So,
yeah.
All right, Jack, you got a second art add?
No, sir.
Oh, Rob, how about you?
59. Is that one of yours?
That's the other one.
Yes. This I was like, oh, it's just another Interceptor ad. Okay, whatever. Wait a second.
No,
this is a video game.
Computer game. I've had this game. I had this game.
I was like, SSI made a freaking FASA Interceptor video game? I never knew this existed.
It's just basically this version. There is a Renegade. I think Microsoft might have put it out at the time. Flyer for Renegade. But this Renegade Interceptor is basically the port.
It looks
basically
like Master
one of the
Orion.
first. Yeah. Well, it's one of the first ones where you took the tabletop game and you put it in a computer game.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're seeing is the board that we would play on. You play a squadron of ships. You have your ship card and everything like that on another page. But basically, it was just a port of a board game into a video game, and it was still pretty fun. And at this point, SSI was still a juggernaut, and they were still putting out a lot of games. So
they're putting out hundreds of games. But yeah, I was just like, wow, IBM available now, Amiga coming in 1991.
The Amiga.
But I never knew FASA had video games other than BattleTech. So
no, they had
and Shadowrun eventually.
Yeah, and they licensed it out. They licensed Crimson Sky to Microsoft.
Oh, that's right. And then once again, Microsoft owns Crimson Sky now because
they
FASA
kept it
were
when
terrible.
FASA went under.
Yep.
So they lost a lot of license that way. So, but
that's why we haven't had any good Crimson Sky games since the clicky game.
Yeah. I remember the Xbox game was pretty good.
It was awesome.
And then it was done after that.
That was such a good game.
Yeah.
You're dogfighting in
yeah. Oh, yeah. Rob, you got another ad?
Nope, I'm done.
I'm done.
Efficient.
Jack, you done?
I'm done.
All right. Well, then, let's wrap this
mofo
shenanigan-ridden episode up.
I'd like to say it's 20 minutes faster than Jack's episode.
Well, let's do a little.
Not over yet.
I'm gonna beat that one.
Let's do a
yeah, I gotta do this.
So Jack's got a point down. I gotta say, like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you address Jack and his inability to keep his articles to 2 and his ads to 1.
Let us know if you ever played
to undress Jack.
Yeah.
Let us know if you played Bladestorm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let us know if you played Bladestorm, and if you are an author we mentioned, please
let us know you're alive.
It's always good to hear from people from the dead, come back from the dead.
Are you just a floating skull on a set of armor?
Are you a spiritus anime?
Yes. I love anime.
So, all right. Well, then, let's wrap this show up. For the Dragon's Tome, I've been your host, Chopper.
I'm Jack.
And I was Rob.
And we will see you next week for episode 164.
63.
163, I mean.
he skips episodes. He's episode dyslexic.
All my episodes are in even numbers, so I have to I only do even numbers.
I only believe in even numbers.
He's got dyslexia for numbers. He's got the numeralexia.
Numeralexia. Ooh. All right. Well, then.
Elven King.
We'll see you guys next week. I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Are you ready, Jack?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for this?
Introducing your Dragon's Tomb hosts.
The clackers
from the Winnipeg Jets, Jack Fike.
And whatever Alouettes, that's the only team I know from the Candy Bowl.